Hi there guys, I'm Danny, and welcome to this episode of All Monsters Go to Space. Today I'm bringing you a video on Janus. A purely Roman god, as he has no Greek counterpart, is a god of a great many things, and I mean many things. He was the god of gates, passageways, doorways, all between places, beginnings, endings, time, duality, conflicts, transitions, birth, journeys, trading, exchange, and even shipping. Death, mourning, as in the time of day. He was also the god of the middle areas between rural and urban spaces, adulthood and youth, and civilization and the uncivilized. Because he is the god of beginnings and endings, he was said to be able to see the past and future, and was invoked at the beginning of the sowing and harvest periods, at marriages and births, but also at deaths. He was a very important deity indeed. When he is depicted in art, sculpture and literature, he is said to have two faces. One would be youthful and clean-shaven, and the other older and bearded. It is said that Janus was there at the very beginning of the world as he guarded the gates of heaven, and was there as religion was formed, and oversaw the start of the gods. In his time, he was referred to as Deum Deo, the god of gods, and he was the very first in the Roman pantheon. It is also said that January was named for him. His main symbols are a staff and a key, and he has a few other names. There's Janus Bifrons, meaning two-faced, Janus Quadriphons, meaning Janus four-faced, and Janus Pater, meaning Janus father. And as you can guess, he can also be called Janus rather than Janus. He is said to have no parents, or to be the offspring of Terra and Caelus, who are primordial beings, and his siblings are listed as Saturn, Ops, and Chemis, who in some stories also became his partner. He fathered Tiberinus, Athex, Fontus, Olistine, and Canius. Since he had none of his own priests, like most other gods did, he was said to carry out his own ceremonies, and as he was the Rex Synchronum, or King of the Sacred Rites, would be present at all of them. The doors of homes were called Ianua, and he presided over stepping in and out of them, and covered passageways were Iani, and he guards the terminus at the Sororium Tigilium, the way into Rome from Latium. An interesting little fact, the job title janitor also comes from him, as it actually means doorkeeper. Very early Roman coins have been found to have been stamped with his image, and it was believed that Janus actually existed and was the very first king of Latium. In the first ever myth about him, he jointly ruled next to the king Carmessus. Janus was exiled from Thessaly, and he and his wife Chemis and their children fled to Rome. Their son Tiberinus became the god of the Tiber River, and on the west bank of this river his father built a city and named it Janiculum. After Chemis's death, Janus ruled Latium, and led it through a long time of peace. Here he received the Roman god Saturn, and eventually shared the kingdom with him, as Saturn had taught him the knowledge of agriculture. He also must have made quite the impression himself, as once Janus died, he was allowed to become a god. In his second myth, Janus was present during Romulus's time. He saw Romulus kidnapping the Sabine women, and Rome being attacked. He created a jet of hot volcanic water to shoot at the attackers, which forced their leader Titus Tatius to retreat. Now a slight bit of relevant information about the abduction. Romulus was followed by men, almost exclusively, and he could see his neighbours' cities growing in number but not his own, and he was worried about an attack. He sent bands of men out to find wives, but most to all places refused them, including the Sabines. The women were even forbidden to marry Romans, so the men made a plan. At the Neptune Equesta festival, the Romans awaited the signal from Romulus. He would fold his cape and then throw it around himself again. When he did this, his followers grabbed the women and fought off the men. Up to 30 women were said to be taken, all unmarried except for one, Hersilia. She became the wife of Romulus and was able to intervene between the Romans and the Sabines and actually prevented a war. Now when peace was agreed upon, the doors of a roofless walled structure that had always been kept open to allow the soldiers to march through, which allowed war, was closed, and this symbolized to everybody that there was peace. And it said that Janus oversaw this. A temple to Janus was then built at the Forum, and the doors are left open when Janus is needed to assist in times of war. The Temple Janus Germanus is another place that is open during times of war. King Numa Pompilius had it built, and since he had led such a peaceful reign, the doors were always closed, and then unfortunately after his reign had ended, they were closed only a very few amount of times. As I have mentioned earlier, many rites were overseen by Janus. These were held at the beginning and end of the year, and at every month, but especially March and October, as these were the start and end of the military seasons in Rome. He also oversaw all anniversaries, births, deaths, opening of temples, and particularly at the temples of Mars on June 1st and to Quirinus on June 29th. On January 1st, his own particular day, people would bring cakes made of spelt and salt and burn them on an altar as an offering to him. People would also give gifts of strene coins, figs, and honey with words of good wishes to each other, and some people even dedicated some time to their business hoping that it would be the start of a fruitful year. Also at the end of each and every month, the Calends sacrifices would be made to Janus. Well, that's it for this once very important deity. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to be alerted to when we put out another video. I'll see you in the next one, in the comments section and on Twitter. Thank you for watching. Bye!